impact or not.
Oh yeah, that would be good to discuss.
Yeah, sure.
I'm with
I
you on
can
that.
mention it.
Yeah.
I'll pull that. Since you pop all those, I'll yank it. We could start with that.
Dun, 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 dun.
See if I can find it here. Is anybody in here? Let's see. Well, actually, we're a little early, aren't we?
Yeah, we're a little early.
Okay, yeah. There's one person in there. The other problem is we're a lot early because we've been doing it at 7 lately.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Matthew's in there, though. How's it going?
Oh, I need to pull that one up as well. Let's see.
Let me find my tweet. At least this records it, though, too, so that should work out pretty good. Yeah, there was all kinds of weird-ass crap breaking, right? I mean, not like news, but stuff that was going on right as I popped down, and I was like, yeah, screw it. This is the hell with it. It's not worth it.
I've got, I don't know how long I'll continue to do this because I always think I'm going to do something for a while and then I don't.
Yeah.
But I've just added to the desk with whatever is thrown in there for the Photoshop. I looked through them. I thought, there was a murder wasp. I didn't go with that one. Yeah. I thought these dudes looked best. These guys.
Yeah.
It's an awesome little Fark army right there.
That looks pretty good, yeah. I like it. Did you try that Photoshop thing? That weird one I sent you, the one where you can take photos of stuff and put it on your screen?
Oh, yeah. I thought it was way cool.
That's weird.
I like that idea. I could see very practical. I mean, more like mock-ups. If you were doing things, I don't know. It looks really fun. What would be a practical application?
That's a good question.
It was very cool.
Let me see here.
Yes, afternoon to you, Ziva. Siva?
Yeah.
Is that how you say that?
I don't know how to pronounce anybody's name. I mean,
I know. I should do this just like you've got a wrench.
Yep.
In your name.
Oops, I forgot to sticky the.
This is our pre-show, folks. This is right before we go through the news of the day.
Yeah, we're doing a little bit of warm up here.
I did enjoy NASCAR. Although I did
miss.
A lot
of fun again.
I did miss the driver that wasn't there. He's quite a character. Clint Boyer, I think it is.
Was he the one whose kid turned the screen off, or was he the one that dropped the N-word?
No, he was neither. He's been one of the guys in the studio.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, but it was fun. And then next week is going to be awesome. We're looking at possibly doing. What are they? They're going to an old defunct track.
Yeah, I'm actually going to watch that one because apparently they said of the people that are racing, only one of them's ever been on that track before.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. They were talking about how they spent a lot of time scanning it in for the iRacing rig that they were using. So it's like they got all the old timey ads and stuff. But so the only way they're training on it right now, actually this week, because you can't go there and drive on it. So they're practicing at home, I guess, or something.
The cars are going to look retro. Basically it looks like these old school ones where it was just like in the back of somebody's field. And they're like, I mean, you've been down to Bristol, haven't you? Or have you seen?
I can't remember where I've been because every time I go to a racing event, it involves alcohol, and then
then it blurs.
Then it blurs. Yeah.
Well, I've been on the outside of Bristol. I've been there for a race week, but I didn't participate in it. But I'd love to go there. I'd love to go to the Kentucky Speedway, all that good stuff.
I've spent more time at the I forget what the name of the place is called. It's the Lucas Oil or the Luke Oil.
Up
drag
in
racing strip in Indy. Yeah, because it turns out that the first or second greatest drag racer professional in the country is a Farker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his name's Ron Capps.
Oh, that's cool.
It's kind of it's a Yankees Red Sox situation. There's this guy named John Force who is the all-time winningest whatever, and he wins all the time without even trying. And then Capps has been racing for I think he's in his early 40s. He's been racing for forever, and he finally won his first championship after coming in second place.
Wow.
30 years in a row or something. But anyway, so I would have never gone, but he's like, hey man, Big Farker, I race professionally. You want to come check this out? And I'm like, yeah, all right. Why the hell not? And man, it's fascinating watching all that. I will say something about drag racing that blows my mind is a very substantial percentage of the professional drivers are women.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, that's true. No difference in that one. It's all it's mental.
Part of the reason is that John Force, the guy who comes. Yep. Oh, there goes the connection. But yeah, no, it's John Force, the guy who comes in first all the time, had 3 daughters, and they all decided they wanted to race. So they're like, in the top 10, it's them too. So it's like his entire family's eating up half the.
I love it. Well, if you ever have a chance, I love hearing all these Farkers connected. But if you do ever have a chance to go to a drag race, you should go. For one, people watching, awesome people watching. Number 2, you cannot duplicate that feeling of somebody in a, what do you call it, a nitro funny car when they take off.
Oh my God!
You feel this energy all around you. It's everywhere. You tingle in a way that you never have tingled before.
It is so loud. And it's so funny, too, because, you go to some of these events where you've got people that are like, I don't need to have ear protection. Not at one of these, man.
No.
Everybody knows. In fact, one of the races we were at.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, pretty much. One of the races we were at, Heather had her noise-canceling headphones off. And the race went off right behind her, so she got to listen to it native. I was like, how is that? She's like, I can't hear you. I can't hear anything you're saying.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, it's brutal. It's awesome fun. So if you can, you'd have a great time. We've had some good comments in here. We've got Mike Bellman. Hey, Drew. So an MU police officer recovered from COVID-19 and got released today. Tell me you'd green light hero police officer discharged for resisting a death.
That's close. He needs to be punched up a little more. I like it. I see where you're going with that. And don't get me wrong, I can't write better ones myself. If we didn't have submitters, we'd be totally hosed. But I like where that was going.
He's on to something there.
I did see Non Sequitur Man's pointing out he's apparently listened to the podcast we dropped today, because he pointed out that he said, you got drunk with PJ O'Rourke and survived. Much respect. Not only did I survive, he was impressed, which made me realize maybe I drink too much. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not that I wasn't trying to keep up with him or anything, but I was in the neighborhood, I guess, of keeping up with him, and he was like super impressed. And I know it went really late. It was after a Wait, Don't Tell Me taping one night, and it went long enough to where he asked me to introduce him to some bourbons, and I know we drank 4, and that was on top of whatever the hell else we had before that. It was. Oh my
goodness.
Yeah, I didn't think anything of it, but I'm pretty sure I didn't drive home. Don't get me wrong, I never drive drunk home, but I say pretty sure because I don't remember what happened on the way home. I have no idea.
That's blackout territory.
Yeah, no kidding, exactly. So,
well, that's beyond. That's like the next day you're in a blackout.
Yeah, I probably was. I don't remember, but that was probably a 2-day hangover. But that story that we were talking about is on the podcast that just dropped earlier today, where we had my friend Peter Sagal from Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Very cool.
That's a hard get too, because he doesn't do interviews because he's busy, but he made time for us. So it was pretty neat.
And if you don't know, if the name's not ringing a bell, I would imagine if you heard his voice, you'd be like, boom, I know that voice. Because it's like, that's an NPR voice.
Yeah.
Oh, he was fantastic, a nice guy. And what I'd said to you after the fact was like, you can tell. I've been in a lot of podcast interviews, not me necessarily, but recording them. And there's some big dicks out there, and there are some awesome people, and he fit into that category of just, you can tell he's a people person. Yeah, he'd be so fun to go out with.
He's a lot of fun to hang out with too, because he's not full of his own crap, like in the slightest. Almost to the point where it's a little disconcerting that he's not. It's like he's unwilling to take credit for anything. Yeah. And in fact, there's a really funny story. He's a little bit like constantly self-deprecating, which is fine from a characteristic. But here's a funny story we didn't get to on the podcast because it didn't come up. So I met him. It was really early on, like early 2000s or so. This matters because in 2004, the Red Sox won the World Series. And the reason that's relevant is because we started talking baseball one night. And for all I know, it was the night PJ O'Rourke was there. We were talking like what everybody's favorite team was. And Peter Sagal's favorite team is the Red Sox. Now, pre-2004, they had not won a World Series in 86 years. And the reason why Peter had picked the Red Sox is because he said he likes a dose of pathos with his sports. So he wanted a team that he said comparing the Cubs to the Red Sox. The Cubs, he said, they've never haven't had a chance in almost 100 years, whereas the Red Sox have got right up to it so many times and then just blown it horribly and painfully. And he said there's something about that pain that he really liked. And so he picked the Red Sox specifically because it was a painful team. So what happened was I know I was there the following year in between. So they won it in 2004. And I was there in 2005 for something or other. And we were hanging out again after the show because I was good drinking. And I asked him, I was like, so Peter, are you going to pick another baseball team? Because the Red Sox won, man. He's like, yeah. He's like, it's taking something out of it for me. He goes, I think I'm going to have to become a Chicago White Sox fan.
Ooh,
now, there's two funny things about the timing of that. First of all, I mean, that's ridiculous. Second of all, the Chicago White Sox at that point had not won a World Series in, I think, since like 1919 or something like that, when that was the Black Sox curse where they cheated and they didn't win again. I'm not too clear on it, but what I do know is that he said, I'm going to switch to the White Sox. In 2005, they won. And I was like, so who are you going to go with now? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, but it turns out the answer is Cleveland. He's not a Cleveland fan, but if you wanted to go with the longest suffering franchise in baseball, it's Cleveland.
Which is wild. I mean, there's some really crappy teams out there that have been there are teams they're still going, like the Pittsburgh Pirates.
They're still
Detroit,
there.
Detroit,
Yeah. Well, what happens is like Cincinnati that's near us, they've sucked for forever, but then occasionally and I guess it's been almost 30 years now, so this isn't quite, but they had one season where they won all the way through the 70s when I was a kid. And then suck. 1990 rolls around and they pop one off and win the World Series out of nowhere.
That's wild.
And then back to sucking again, and it's like, okay.
But the thing I love is like, even if your team sucks, it's like you have games you can go to. It's like going out, hanging out, talking. That's the really cool thing. That's the thing I love about it. Yeah. But great stories on there. Peter Sagal was a guest on the show, so go to the podcast. You can find that on fark.com. And you'll get to hear that interview that Todd and Drew did. It was pretty cool, pretty awesome to have.
It's a lot of fun.
Some good background. I didn't realize some of those things that he was mentioning. I love stories like that too. It's he totally owns it. He's like, you know what? Hey, how do you get into this career? This great long career I've had? Try to do something else and wait for the phone to ring. And sometimes it's that way. Yeah, sometimes it's that way. Sometimes.
Yeah, that's how I keep describing how Fark has been around for so long. It's the same deal. It wasn't like I always wanted to do this. It just kind of took off one day, and I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah.
This seems to be a thing. Let's do it.
Yep. Yes, we're talking sports here, but that's the pre-stuff. That's the pre-stuff. We've got your stuff. Again, I'll mention this for the people in here. The front artwork is courtesy of Fark and the Photoshop contest, one of those more recent ones. These are some nice dudes here protesting things, Could be anything. Could be.
It literally is anything.
Could be Hornets that they're really upset about. But we'll see. You ready for the show, man?
I think I am. Let's do this.
Awesome. Let's see if I hit the right one.
All right. See if I can hear it. Nope.
Dang it. Oh, you haven't heard all my lovely music the whole time. Well, that's how we figure things out. Well,
I didn't know you were playing music. Yeah.
You're like, why is Dallin just bobbing his head like an idiot? Okay.
I'm doing it too. But I am because I don't hear anything. There you go. Overly serious music.
Where the latest COVID-19 models think we're headed and why they disagree.
Yay. So I like to read 538. It's a really weird sort of combination of politics and sports. I actually like the sports stuff better, but that's where we're at. So anyway, but they're statisticians and they model lots of predictions over there. And so they've gotten around to pointing out all of because of course the big news of, I guess it was sometime last week, like maybe Friday or so, the best performing prediction out there blew it. They said we were going to have 60,000 deaths. And we went flying past that. We had 70 today, by the way. So it's we keep going. Yeah, we did.
Remind me where China it says they are. Do you know that offhand?
I think they're having no deaths in like 2 cases or something. It's pretty low.
But what was their total?
I think they ended up with like 3,000 deaths,
which is
or something
insane. If that's an accurate number, for us,
let's say it's off by a factor of 5. It's still low.
Still, when you look at the population density of those, I remember going over and them saying, I was like, wow, this is a big city. And they're like, this is a small town. It's only 5 million people. You know,
they have
that's a
25
small
cities
town.
larger than New York City.
Exactly. So it's crazy. Anyway, proceed.
Yeah, so their
with
final
this.
tally
Yeah.
was 82,000 cases, 4,600 deaths is where they were at, and they had one new case yesterday.
Okay. One.
So they got a handle, I guess. Good for those guys.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So anyway, so 538 got this out here to check it out because the first model blew it. But they're explaining why, and the answer is because it's a lot of paragraphs. You can go through it if you want, but basically nobody can take all the variables into account because we don't know what they all are. Like we still don't know how this transmits, etc. There's some. If we have a slow news day tomorrow, I'll pull out some of the stuff that came out over the weekend. But at any rate, so what he's got, if you scroll down on this article, here, you'll see that he's got all the models where he's got them on the same graph. That's the first.
Oh, he has them by state as well.
Yes, and then he's got it by state. Now, there's something I want to point out here. First of all, you can see that these models cluster kind of where near each other,
right?
Which is pretty obvious.
Yeah.
The by state one's an interesting one to look at too, because if you'll notice that, I didn't scroll down. None of these are going down. Not one of them. Not even the most pessimistic. There's a couple.
So Hawaii's going up, and it's Hawaii's fairly flat.
Yeah, Hawaii's got it pretty much handled. And New York City kind of does too. New York State, even New York State isn't going down. None of these are going down. Now, granted, they're not going up as fast as they were, but and there's one of these studies is super pessimistic. Whoever the red dotted line is, those guys are like predicting like chaos and death because they although they're close to each other right now, they deviate strongly. I'm trying to see who that is.
This one's interesting.
That's Columbia. It's Columbia University.
Look at Tennessee, 219. Did you see what Kentucky is?
Nope.
261.
Yeah, we've got more.
What is going on there?
Factors. We've got a lot of fat people that smoke.
More than Tennessee. Are you telling me we need to have a fat off
Actually,
with Tennessee?
Probably not numerically. Maybe you're right.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, I don't know. So, but anyway, I just want to point this out because none of them are going down. And Trump today announced that they're going to wrap the coronavirus task force by the end of the month. Now, as I was coming down here, they announced that about an hour ago, and CNN was already wringing its hands over this. But on the other hand, what have they done? I mean, other than steal medical supplies from other states, I think it's okay if that one. And here's the thing:
on the federal level,
they're winding it down by the end of the month. So if there's still more deaths at the end of the month, I bet they probably.
I would say on the federal level, they've come up with some charts and some guidelines, and they've given updates. But they also basically told the states to just get with it and do it themselves. So
yeah, it's
I'm
no
with
plan,
you.
Basically.
Not much. Yeah, it's more of a state by state issue. So
yeah, exactly. So anyway, but I wanted to point that out because that's where we are right now, and we always start with graphs.
3 Russian doctors fall from hospital windows after warnings about coronavirus.
So this is loosely funny because
that sounds interesting.
It's been a running joke on Fark that if like you cross Putin, you get thrown out of a window. So it turns out over the weekend, 3 Russian doctors fell out of windows after worrying about the coronavirus. And it's like, you're not even trying to hide it anymore, man. It's like, don't even be like, if you throw 3 guys out a window, that's getting like one guy. I mean, people
at the same time. Was it? Did they say it was at the same time, same hospital?
I don't know because I didn't read it that close. I just like the fact that it's really funny that they all fell.
They fell. They fell.
Yeah. They fell.
What can we say? There was an open window. There was a falling.
Yeah, it's like quicksand in 1970s dramas. That stuff is everywhere. You're just going to jump into it,
Do you think, is there an opportunity to write a screenplay about Quicksand? Quicksand, the movie? You totally bring it back. It's been a long time since that genre has been explored.
Yeah, they need it. There needs to be a guy in a monkey suit and a high dive act.
Yeah.
As I understand it.
I watched The Princess Bride the other night. And it has a great quicksand moment. So
it does. That's right. Yeah, there's always quicksand for whatever reason.
In Japan, the murder hornet is both a lethal threat and a tasty treat.
Yeah. So we were talking about murder hornets all weekend. I don't know if you guys knew it. And by the way, Down, you had a really good point about that.
I was bringing up if we have time to talk about murder hornets, things must not be that bad because it's or the media has decided that we got to get our summer story front and center now. It's got to be out there so we can talk about this the rest of the summer.
So murder hornets were a big deal over the weekend, and I ended up hearing a lot about it, actually more than most people, because I had that tweet that went viral. It got 635,000 likes on it out of nowhere. Which
really?
Is a lot, 'cause,
that's insane, man.
Well, the top 20 of all time starts at 1.2 million, so that's a lot. Like that's a huge run. Where I pulled
Wow.
it was a joke I made in 2015 on New Year's Eve, where I posted a thing where I said, I thought I was a time traveler from 2020, and that things would be bad for a while. And I put that up there because I've noticed every New Year's Eve that every year everybody's like, "Boy, that year sucked," and I was like, "Oh, well, then this will probably work." So I put a 5-year time horizon on it, and then it turned out I remembered I did that on Friday morning, and I was just like, "Oh, I should pull the joke now. It's been almost 5 years. Let's do this." I mean,
what's incredible is you remembered that.
Yeah,
you remember.
I don't know what happened. Something reminded me of it. I was just like, "Oh, yeah, right. I should totally get around to it." So that thing went nuts, and I'm gonna do an analysis if I get a chance of all, because I got 2,000 direct replies from people.
Wow.
And it was really interesting too. The final stats were it's like 35 million people read it.
Really, that's insane. That's insane.
It's pretty wild. But so I got 2,000 responses back, and it was interesting the microcosm of questions that people were asking. And obviously, how long are we going to be in quarantine was a big one. Will I be happy or rich or famous was another one. I guess they were confusing time travelers with being omniscient. Because even if I was a time traveler, I mean,
I'm a time traveler, and I followed everyone individually.
Well, not only that, I said I came from 2020, and you're asking me in 2020, how the hell am I supposed to know? Unless it's like happens in the next 6 months, I mean, anyway. And by the way, a surprising number of people were skeptical. I liked that.
That's good.
That was pretty cool.
That's
but
good.
Of the microcosm of things that people were asking me, it was the murder hornets came up more than I would have expected for an article that was only a couple of days old.
It really propagated. It would be interesting to dive back down, see where this first story originally came from. I do like this story that you pulled.
Yes.
This topic, as far as like also a tasty treat. And
so it turns out in Japan they eat them.
Well,
and not only that, but they make shochu out of them also. So apparently you can make like
really? Can you?
Murder hornets? Yeah.
So when I was in China, I did eat. I think I've said this before, but I did eat. What are those bugs? Cicadas.
Oh, yeah, sure.
A similar thing like this. It was actually kind of tasty. I thought I liked it. I thought it was nicely done. So
I haven't done it, but we have a lot of really good Japanese restaurants in Lexington because it's Toyota factory. And they've got one dish that they serve at sushi places that's really hard to find unless you're in Chicago for some reason. It's on the menu in every Chicago sushi place I've ever been to, but it's basically it's deep fried shrimp. They take the back half of the shrimp and that becomes the sushi. And the front half they drop it into deep fryer. And that's pretty good. I eat that as often as I can get it. And so I figure, well, if I can do that, I could probably eat a bug. And apparently murder hornets taste like popcorn.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can see that. Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
No, it's good. We've got some comments in here. Somebody's dog ate cicadas when they lived in Carbondale. Yeah, some of these bugs, you get them early on. We're a culture that just doesn't do it. We don't do
unless they come out of the ocean.
We're cool with that. If it swims, we'll eat anything that swims.
Yeah.
Ted Cruz moves to punish Hollywood because Freddie Mercury isn't gay enough in Chinese Queen movie.
Yeah, so I got to set this one up, okay? This is going to tie your brain.
There's a lot there.
See if you can follow me on this, okay? So what's going on is it was an issue that was brought up by South Park, and I mean it's been other people too, but I remember South Park. Remember that episode, the China episode, where they were dealing with all the edits that Disney is making to all of its movies to appease the Chinese censors. And South Park's point was why the hell are you doing this? We don't live in China. China doesn't get to call the shots. And well, the answer is because money, right? Well, I don't know why Ted Cruz is finally getting around to bringing this subject up during the middle of a pandemic. Again, it's a good indication that media is dying to do something else. It also seems odd that it's coming up like now, but at any rate, so Ted Cruz is on the warpath to, and I don't disagree with him on this, to tell Hollywood to quit bending over to Chinese censorship requests. However, one of his specific problems in Chinese censorship is apparently, and I vaguely remember this because it was a Fark article, but I didn't look too closely into it. Apparently Bohemian Rhapsody, which is mostly the biography of Freddie Mercury, who was famously gay, was edited by to the taste of the Chinese censors. It doesn't mention that Freddie Mercury's gay in the movie. And I'm like, that's kind of integral, I think. So it turns out one of the things that Ted Cruz is angry about is that the Chinese version of Bohemian Rhapsody, Freddie Mercury is not gay enough.
It's not
He's
gay.
actually angry about it.
How it is.
Yeah.
It is.
There you go.
It is funny, and I know it is a financial thing, but you had the streaming services that would edit out things from movies. Like you could type in, what was that service? Angel Vids? And you could type in and you could say, I don't want to have swear words in. I don't want to have nudity.
Okay.
And
yeah,
then,
that's right. I remember that.
Yeah, and
back when we started Fark, we I don't know if he's still around. It was the Cap Alert guy who he made morality of movies. He was super Christian. The guy was an interesting dude, actually. I got to give him credit because I don't like people who are strongly evangelical who are clearly ignoring it. Like the Saturday Night Baptists. Like that one, or never take one Mormon fishing because he'll drink all the beer like those guys. But that guy, he was weird and he was crazy. But what I was interesting about him is that he felt very strongly in his faith, and he'd adopted 9 kids because he was pro-life, and he volunteered as an emergency responder because he felt like that's what Jesus wanted people to do. And I was just like, okay, I mean, this guy's a complete loon, but he's absolutely living his life according to his principles.
Right.
So it's like,
no.
All right then.
I do appreciate that.
Yeah, good for him.
The only reason I brought that up was because Hollywood sued them because they didn't want them editing their movies.
That's really funny because
they were
I guess it's
very
okay if
pure
Jesus
about
does it, but not
right.
China.
If China or Jesus does it, it's okay. So just an interesting little tidbit.
Indeed.
Michael Cohen's early prison release mysteriously next days after Trump became visibly agitated. He was getting sprung.
So one of our segments is stuff that kind of flew under the radar, and I actually caught this a couple days later, and I was like, "What?"
Gosh, I forgot about Cohen.
Yeah, well, we had Cohen on earlier as the thing under the radar because he was being let out of prison. That didn't make the rounds very far either. What was really interesting is that when Trump found out about it, somebody told it to him during a press conference, and he got really nervous and weird about it, like all of a sudden. So it's like, I'm sure there's no reason for that. It's just what happened. But anyway,
that is funny.
I missed the fact, though, that somebody, could have been anybody, there's no telling who or why, has canceled his early release. He's not getting out of prison after all. Wow, what a weird coincidence.
After further review, no, you're not getting out. Billy Mitchell takes his Donkey Kong high score cheating case to court. Oh, this is news to me, and I'm very happy about this because I would love to have King of Kong 2. That was such a good documentary.
Have you seen the movie Pixels by any chance?
No, I don't. Wait, is that a cartoon one?
No, that's Adam Sandler's movie where the aliens show up and they show up in the form of video games.
Oh, no, I didn't see that. No.
Pac-Man in the streets and stuff. Well, so there's a character in that movie that's played by Dinklage from Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Who drinks and knows things. Yeah. So what I want to point out is he's based on this character, and go to the second or third photo of this guy. You'll notice how much he looks like Peter Dinklage. It's actually kind of frightening.
He looks awesome. That one right there. Yeah, this guy is awesome. If he does not drive a 1979 Camaro, I would be very surprised. He looks like he would.
He must.
Maybe the T-Bird. A T-Bird, some Thunderbird like that. Yeah. Guy's sweet. He has the best hair. Best beard.
He's got to.
He's put together.
So anyway, what's going on here is there is as you mentioned, there's a documentary, The King of Kong, about the guy who claims to have had the highest score ever on Donkey Kong. And I don't know. I mean, I guess he's done nothing else in his life because this matters a lot. But at any rate, there was a group called Twin Galaxies that announced that they found that they think he cheated based on some of the video of the way the game was working. You can only have the record, apparently, if you work on unmodified hardware. And apparently something about the video tips off. And since you've seen the documentary, what is the thing about it that tips it off?
It was something in was it the speed of something which ran? I think there was a non-official part inside the machine. I can't remember what tipped it off. I thought it was something with timing, something about timing the clock. I don't know. Anyway, it could be off.
Yeah. Well, they went public with it, and he responded with a defamation lawsuit because I guess if you're only known for one thing and it turns out that's fake, you're really hosed. But it's not defamation if it's true. So I don't know how this is going to play out. But
I love it. If I was a judge, I even if the law didn't look like it was legit, I'd be like, yeah, let's hear more about this. How awesome would it be a judge to see this show going on?
It would at least be something you hadn't done before.
Oh my gosh, I would fight to get on that jury. 2020 naked bike ride canceled. No, kind of.
So,
ride naked on their own? What's the point?
You're probably as disappointed as I was to hear that this got canceled. That
Yeah.
the World Naked Bike Ride. And by the way,
Sad
don't
day.
try to look up uncensored pictures of this because these people are not attractive. Yeah, the World Naked Bike Ride's canceled. It's terrible. But in order to continue, they're going to do it virtually. So I guess if you've got a trainer at home or you can ride around in your neighborhood or something. I mean, I don't know, but
Peloton, can you Peloton naked? I guess.
Yeah, that would probably work. Yeah, Peloton naked. That would. Yeah,
but somebody's not going to see you. I want to be seen. We could do our stream. We could
Yeah,
get some
we could do it
bicycles
from a
on
bike.
here. But that would be a problem. That wouldn't be good. So what are they gonna? So they're just gonna do it virtually?
Yeah. So there's a couple of apps as a cyclist you can download. You could write it on the app if you want to. I'm kind of thinking about just sort of heading out to my neighborhood, because why not? I don't want them to think that I'm not weird.
A family neighborhood, no less.
Yeah.
Indonesian footage captures monkey on miniature bike in attempted child kidnap.
Yeah, so play that video. That's great. This came out last week. It was this was the thing we were worried about before the murder hornets. It was monkeys kidnapping babies.
Well, monkeys are evil. They're filthy, filthy, evil animals.
Totally, and they don't taste very good.
They taste like people, I'm guessing. Why are we not playing here, people?
I don't know. Probably because it's coming from Australia, and they're like, "Oh, somebody's playing the monkey video again."
Like, come on. I mean, it's not a great still image there. That child looks.
It's not a good time there.
Come on, play for me. You know what? We must see this monkey steal baby. Popped right up. Here we go.
Like I said, this was what we were worrying about before murder hornets last week.
All right, let's see this.
Kidnapping monkeys.
All right, I do have some thoughts on this. No, I don't have thoughts on you. Look, I'm cool. I have. Oh, we're having such a fun time.
Education. That's good.
Yeah. Hey. All right. Now here's my breakdown. All right.
Man, that monkey's a jerk.
Okay, right at the beginning, this guy he's given the monkey the go-ahead. Watch his arms. He's totally, watch that dude. He just said, like, come this way.
Get him.
I think somebody flung that monkey. Hey, dirty bastards.
I wonder if that guy trained the monkey to do that. Like just to, maybe the guy who owns the monkey hates kids more.
I don't know.
You train it to beat the crap out of kids, maybe. I don't know.
I'd love to know how often this actually happens. I'm guessing it happens often.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard about it, but that said, it's like, like murder hornets bumped it off of the crap we're supposed to be scared about. So there you go. Speaking of other stuff that's scary, by the way, I queued this next video up for you right where it needs to be. And this is the segment. I had to see it, and now you do too.
Okay. If I can come in, here we go. Oh, look at this guy. Your guess is as good as mine as to what he is doing. Oh, when you irritate? Oh my gosh.
It's a trend that took off after Instagram influencers Metaphysical Megan and Raw of Earth began promoting it as a way to recharge your prana life force energy.
And your
Isn't that great?
That's a big solar panel that's usually not out in the sun.
They also claimed that it increases creativity and creative output, aids in a healthy libido and balanced sexual energy, regulates.
I'm guessing if you're doing this, you have no problem with your libido.
Yeah,
zero problem.
Amplifies your auric field.
Anyway, there's 10 minutes to this. You can imagine.
10 minutes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, somebody submitted that, and I was just like, oh, good. So I've been sending it to people all day long who have been sending me stuff that I didn't want to read, and I was like, oh, here, I got one for you.
So now I have something to do when the sun pops out again here.
Yeah, just go in the backyard, hang out, and yeah, there you go. And it'll cure all kinds of stuff.
Perineum, something like that.
Yeah.
Doorbell camera catches mass beer fairy dropping off care package on woman's porch. Nice.
Yeah, so there's a video that goes along with this. There's some meat in there somewhere. It takes a little bit of kicking around to find it. I don't know that I believe this story.
So the idea is that some guy delivered beer?
Yeah, dressed up as a beer fairy, but then later on somebody else did it in a T-Rex outfit. And I'm like, I don't know that I believe that there's a random guy running around dropping beer off on people's porches.
No,
I mean,
it seems unusual to me, and the reason why is like, just for the same reason you wouldn't drop off weed. How do I know that this is something somebody enjoys? Maybe they don't like alcohol. Maybe it's a really mean thing to do.
Yeah, what I think is probably more likely what happened here is that they were sitting around trying to figure out things that might end up in the news, and this is their attempt here. Right? Is my guess, but maybe
I like it.
There's I don't know. It's in Ohio. It's possible.
Could be. Washington police catch drunk driver going 192 on way to breakfast.
So this is a quick one. It's basically what it sounds like, but he was doing 192 in a 60, which is pretty impressive, especially on the way to breakfast.
How do you do that?
Well, he had a Corvette, so that's good. It wasn't like a Ford Focus or anything. It wasn't so that's at least possible.
It's a Hyundai.
Yeah. So anyway, but the reason I brought that up is because we had an almost trifecta in play. Go to the next article. This is the bookend for it.
Oh, okay. Oh, this one I saw. I almost sent you this link because I thought I saw this story. A 5-year-old boy was pulled over in Utah on his way to California to buy a Lamborghini. I saw this story because I always check out the local news in Utah because that's where I work. My company is, and I thought, oh, maybe Drew doesn't have this. This fits. So I went to Fark. It was already on there. You already had it. You guys,
you guys are. Yeah. So what happened here was pretty cool. So in the order of which things happened, we'll play the video in a second because it's pretty good. But the order of which things happened, police saw this car driving down the road, 30 miles an hour, weaving all over the place. It was I-15 heading west, and they pulled him over. And they found a 5-year-old in there, nobody else. And they said they had to show the kid how to throw it in park because he didn't realize that was part of driving. Because I don't think he's tried it before this. So they asked him what he was doing driving down the road. And he said he was headed to California to buy a Lamborghini and he had $3 with it. When they asked him why he didn't have his parents drive him there, he said he'd asked them first and they said no. And that's why he took matters into his own hands and drove off with the car.
It's very impressive how far he got at 5. At 5.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's great. There's a little video of the dash cam video. Do you see that at the top there?
Yeah, we'll
run that. It's
play
great.
this as we skip this ad. Here we go. It's interesting. You see him weaving. You're definitely thinking this could be a drunk dude.
Oh, yeah. 30 miles an hour, weaving all over the place.
Yeah.
It's probably because you can't touch all the pedals.
This looks like it was shot in 1989.
It does.
Very high quality.
That's right. This is lost
and then you see it.
Chase.
Oh, they clipped it, but you see the car nudge forward a little bit.
Yeah. Look, he pulled over. Well, I mean,
Okay, I want to pause right here. The editing, whoever stuck this on, this is what threw me. I was like, did this kid have a paper plate on his face? I mean, I know when people blur it, but what is this that they stuck on top of that?
I don't know, actually. Is it a murder hornet, maybe?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
I like it. It is very unique. But do you know any 5-year-olds, Drew?
Right now, no. Actually, I'm all out of 5-year-olds. All mine turned into teenager assholes.
Yeah. How old is Sierra?
Yeah, she's 10, so she's going on 25.
10, so yeah, and I can't imagine her driving.
She wants to. I don't know that that's a good idea, but she totally wants to. That's
she has a better shot. She's pretty tall.
Yeah. I will say it's possible. My dad grew up on a farm, and he could drive a tractor at age 6, and that thing was a stick shift, so
that's
not like
true.
it's out of the question.
That's true. Hey, he didn't wreck. The kid did not wreck it. That was impressive.
He didn't wreck.
I missed my button. How do koalas drink? Scientists find it's not what we think.
So here's a question I've never asked myself because I just figured they drink, I guess, right?
Right.
Apparently, the way that they've been observed, anyways, they don't appear to drink enough water to keep themselves going, but obviously they do because we still have koalas. So
So you mean they're like camels in the sense, like it's just like, wow, when is this guy drinking?
Well, I don't understand why it took so long to figure this out because it turns out they lick trees after rains. Ta-da! But like, what was so mysterious about that? Were they hiding it? Like, was the pandemic preventing koala research? I don't understand. I mean, when the hell? Anyway, so now, but mystery solved, everyone. Good news. Now we know how koalas drink. So we got that one covered. Thank God.
Go back to your regular lives.
Yeah. Whew, man. Close one.
What do we got? Clever stray cat adopted after leading woman into shop to buy his favorite food.
So go ahead and run the video. It's a minute long. It's in Spanish. If you understand Spanish, it's actually adorable. So this woman has found a stray cat, and basically the stray cat took her inside the shop and right over where the cat food was and picked out his cat food. And she said, you know what? I'm adopting this cat.
Hola, gato. Está bien chistoso porque tiene algo. Este gato.
And she named him Bunny
Bunny.
because he gives him his tail. They don't
Oh,
have his
yeah,
tail. It's
yeah.
Bunny.
I had a cat without a tail.
Y vean lo que hace.
Seems like she's leading him inside, right?
Sort of.
She definitely held the door open for him.
I'm pretty sure the cat knows what cat food is in there. There's a 100% chance of that. They know what they're doing.
They're like, yeah, oh, sure, yeah, bring your cat in. No big
Yeah,
deal.
go ahead. It's Mexico. It's
Isn't
fine.
like...
Maybe you'll leave some rats in there.
Él ya sabe.
All right. That is, he does know the packaging very much so.
Oh, yeah. He knows. He's like, that's it. That's the one. There you go. That's mine.
Right.
Hand over, lady.
I like that. And then I'd love it if she just we don't know. She just stole it at that point.
She did. She took it home. That's her cat now. So she did. She stole the cat. I don't know about the food. I mean, I'm assuming she paid for the food, but we don't know. Maybe
We
she's
don't know.
walking
They're
out.
like, it's cute. Just take it.
Yeah.
And finally, wrapping things up.
Yep.
Deadly
Actually,
murder. Wait, oh, I missed one.
Oh, no, that's okay. Go ahead.
Deadly murder hornets are also a crunchy gourmet snack.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
we
was our
did.
deadly. we already
Okay,
did
all
that
right,
one,
all
so
right. We did
yeah,
have
so
that
was
one.
it.
Okay, that was it.
There you go. Yeah. We got
So
it.
that's the.
That's literally the only thing going on in the news today. It's murder hornets and
It's good.
time traveling.
You know, out in Utah, most stores are open at this point, at least retail locations. It'll be interesting to see how my stores do. Give you some thoughts on that as I see
There
numbers.
was an interesting long form article that popped up over yesterday. I didn't put it in here because it was too long to explain, but the long and the short of it is it's looking like most COVID transmissions are occurring inside enclosed spaces, which yeah, duh. But the actual important point of that is that very few of them are happening in places like grocery stores, which I like because that's the only place I'm going. So,
So what would be a closed space? Are they talking like a subway? Are they talking
yeah,
about?
subway, airplane, bus, your house, church, a meatpacking plant, a prison, or a retirement home. All of those places is where it seems to be having
If
trouble.
you avoid that, you're set.
Yeah, so don't go to that
like
meatpacking
that
retirement home because those people died a long time ago.
Hey, I've been meaning to ask you this, but I didn't see any news about it. In Lexington a couple days ago, Nat and I were downtown, and there was a what do you call it? A band, ranchero band.
Okay.
A Mexican band or whatever. I don't know what you call those ones where you got like 5 guys with giant guitars.
Like a mariachi?
Mariachi. That's it. Mariachi band. And like 40 super white people and like 20 kids out front. No protest signs, but this was going on down at the, not the courthouse, but that building they renovated. Very weird. Very unusual. I should have,
I don't know.
I
Yeah, I
should
didn't
have
see
shot
anything
some
about it.
video for it. It was interesting. All right, man. What is I'm sorry I wasn't able to do the video last week. I totally forgot. It was my anniversary.
Yeah,
And
it worked out. We kind
something-
of winged it. Sierra helped me out with all the stuff, and then the minute Sierra got on there, the other 2 kids wanted to get on too. So we kind of winged it. So that's
Oh,
we
good.
barely
Good.
made it livable, but yeah, it's much
Good.
better with having some production values as opposed to none.
Well, good. I'm glad you're able to do that. We'll still have to do that. Let's see. Any comments in here? Adorable. All those good things. What about liquor stores? I did see that in India, they had closed down liquor stores and then they reopened them and there was a run on them. So lots of mass hysteria. I guess most of their tax income comes from liquor. I didn't realize that. I wouldn't have thought that for India.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, this is also good. I was checking the Fark comments. Apparently, my tweet's on the main page of Reddit right now.
Oh, awesome. Nice.
Yeah, good times. That'll happen.
Non sequitur, man. We love you down, so thank you very much. I'll always point that out.
Yeah.
Sierra has a potty mouth. That is a confirmed fact. That
Oh, yeah.
is a
Big time.
fact. But you haven't heard, what is that song that Chase sings?
Which one?
Doesn't Chase sing a song that is expletive laden? I don't know.
Oh, probably. Oh, Chance. Yeah, he does. He sings the Team America song.
That's the one. That's
Yeah,
the
he's
one.
got it. He's got it
So-
memorized.
so
Boy, is it
if
disconcerting.
If you're ever around Chance and you just say Team America, you're gonna hear the song.
You're gonna get the whole
It's
thing.
gonna come. Make sure Heather's around so that Heather is has to jump into action.
Yeah.
It's fun to put her
He's
on.
added twerking to it too, which is
Oh,
not
really?
not great either. But you know,
No. That's awesome. Well, great to see you guys. Good to be back, and fun to see some news making it through.
yeah, definitely. We'll do this again tomorrow sometime. And with any luck, there'll be some more, less murder hornets, more fun stuff. Hopefully.
Yeah, and I think we will come later tomorrow. We had to go a little early today because it's my wife's birthday.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. So I'm not going to hang around here when I can be cooking steak.
Where is it tomorrow? Because like everybody in your house has a birthday. Right?
Yeah, my birthday was Sunday, and then hers is this, and then Matthew and Evie coming up. So, and then Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Mother's Day on Friday or Sunday. If you guys want to participate in that.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. We shall see you again tomorrow.
Yep. Sounds good.
Bye.
Y'all take care.